since you just requested me to go ahead and record it, I'll go ahead and have you announce date, time, and the meeting again.
Okay, this is the West Hazel Dell Neighborhood Association meeting for February 18th. We called the order at 6:05. Is the year of greatness 2025. Okay, we said thank you to David and Messiah Lutheran.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for Robin.
Okay, so I'm new to being your president, so I hope that you'll be patient with me as I discover all of the joys of taking on this job, taking over from somebody that many of you know, and we're going to embarrass her and talk about her in a few minutes. But just to start, I would like to introduce you to the folks that are going to be representing you and advocating for you and working for you. Amy and I were elected on November 7th. This is your Secretary Treasurer, Amy Hayes. She'll get a chance to talk in a minute. And we were the only two board members at the time. So in accordance with our bylaws, we appointed someone who is absolutely fantastic to the position of vice president. She's a teacher, she's a community member, she's a scientist. One of the things that I love about this person is her enthusiasm for all things community and education. That's our vice president, Tessa Wargo. Tessa, you want to come up?
Wow, I wasn't expecting this many people. This is awesome. I'm just really excited to be a part of all of this. Joseph and I, he's my fiance, we just bought a house in the area about 1.5 years ago, but Hazel Dell's been, part of my life for a long time. I graduated from Columbia River High School and I worked for my school district, so I'm just really excited to be involved. Thank you. All right.
So glad to get to know Tessa and have her join us here. And as a lot of you who've spoken to me or read one of the many things I've written and sent out, you know that I'm really excited about kids. I've got a kid myself. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to empower our kids to advocate for themselves and participate in the community. And people like Tessa critical to that. The next person that I'm going to introduce is a registered nurse, which is really great. So if you hurt yourself, just scream, and she will come help you. She's a mom. She's a wife.
Hey, wait, my full introduction.
She's our secretary treasurer, ladies and gentlemen. Amy.
Sorry, you said everything I was going to say. Thank you, Brendan. Okay. Amy Hates, I am your secretary treasurer. Just took over this position in November, and this is our first meeting with the new board, and it's really great to see all of you here in person, on Zoom. Thank you so much for attending. I am, like Brendan said, a registered nurse. I was going to say that myself, but he took it away, so that's fine. So I've been a nurse for about 15 years. I'm a mom, 11-year-old right here, Camden. He's quite the curious fellow. And I grew up in West Hazel Dell, right down the street. Born and raised, I went to Eisenhower and Jason Lee and Columbia River, and I did Fair Wind and go to the art school. I was the second graduating class of VSA in Vancouver School of Arts and Academics. But I've been here in Hazel Dell for a long time. For most of my life, I did go out and about, lived other places in the Pacific Northwest, but mostly I've been here. And for the last 3.5 years, I actually live 2 blocks away from the house that I grew up in. So it's really cool how that kind of just comes back around. I'm really excited to be back in this specific community and be able to share, where I grew up with my son, and really excited to get to know all of you and work together and just work to make West Hazel Dell an even more open space than it already is. And again, just really appreciate all of you coming out. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Amy. So happy to have you here. I'm happy to know you and your 11-year-old son, Camden. My name is Brendan McCrane. I am your president. I have an 11-year-old son named Camden. And I'm married to a nurse who is also the secretary treasurer of our neighborhood. I'm really excited to do this. I'm excited to show my son that that it's okay to get involved. It's okay to stand up for yourself and for your neighbors and help people, and to take a little risk and do something that might not feel comfortable at first. And I hope that any new folks that are coming in or folks that are coming back, also can feel empowered. And a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, that somebody else is standing up here introducing themselves. Or maybe I'm still here. I don't know. It depends. I first got involved with the neighborhood association a few years ago when I got a postcard in the mail. Some of you might be here for that exact reason. And I sent an email to the address on the postcard, and 2 days later, Isla Westergaard, former president, was sitting in my dining room eating baguettes and salsas, and she was saying, "Okay, I'm going to teach you everything that I know." So I hung out with her for a little while. I was not able to get all of the information before I had to step back and take a break for a little while. And then Isla reached out to me a few months ago and said that she was going to retire, and that she just needed somebody to do it. And if it had to be me, she would settle for that. So I'm here. I've talked a lot already, so I think you got a pretty good idea of what I'm all about. You're welcome to come talk to me before meetings, after meetings. You can email me. You can visit our website. You can fill out the contact form there. You can see me walk into school in the mornings or walking home in the afternoons. You can accost me on the way. You can come join me for a walk. That'd be cool too. One of the things that's great about being in a neighborhood association in Clark County is that we have a lot of support from our county. In my experience, the county cares about neighborhood associations. They offer us a variety of resources and support. And far and away, absolutely the best resource that Clark County offers us is in the form of our neighborhood outreach program coordinator, and that is Marilee McCall. And Marilee is going to come up here and tell you a little bit about the neighborhood outreach program and the great things that she does.
I've been sitting up there with my back in the room. I didn't realize there were this many people here. This is fantastic. This is such a great turnout. This is very exciting to see this many people come out for the neighborhood meeting. First off, my name is Marilee McCall. I've been working for the county just about 21 years. About 10 years was spent in the planning department, and then about 10 years has been spent in communications with the neighborhoods and outreach to the community. Although the planning, I was doing outreach with the planning as well. Prior to that, I was doing a lot of stuff like industrial and some steel pipe and things like that. So that was way different than what I'm doing now, but it gives me a little bit more broader experience. The neighborhood program itself, we aren't here. We are not HOAs. We do not collect dues. We're not here to have rules or enforce rules or tell you what color to paint your house or how tall your grass is supposed to be or what kind of things you're going to plant in your yard. We're here to try to support building community and to also be a connector to information that is coming out to you from the county. So say that there's going to be some construction because of the wastewater district or the PUD or because of the development project that's going on out here, then we would reach out to our neighborhood association. So if you're on the email list, then you're going to get a direct email that lets you know right away that, hey, there's going to be a detour. You're going to want to avoid that section of town. We are also working, there's going to be a new program that's coming out that we'll probably have Public Works come and talk to you about. That's going to be a neighborhood traffic management system. They're finally talking about speed bumps, which people have been asking for a long time, and doing a grant program where the neighborhoods will work together and submit projects that they want to see reviewed. And then they'll review all of the projects that are submitted and rank them on safety and how much they cost. And then they'll decide which ones they're gonna do that year and then carry things over for the next year and so on and so on. So I know everybody has places they want speed bumps. There's other things too that can be considered of like flashing speed signs, rumble strips in front of stop signs, different things for bike and pedestrian areas that are safety concerns of putting up, I don't even know what they're called, those little things that are, they're not cones, but they're like
Delineator.
they're they're not ballers because you can run over them and they'll tip over, but things that make it so that it's more visible to not go closer to the sidewalk. So you'll always see me taking notes. I'm not taking notes for the meeting. I'm always scribbling down notes for safety concerns and for different things that people are wanting to know about sidewalks. Those things will go back to either Public Works or to the Sheriff's Department after the meeting. And we get back to either the neighborhood president or I try to find the person that brought up the issue before they leave and get an email or a telephone number so that I can follow up with you about what that issue was. So we work on that. Brandon's talking about getting some fun neighborhood things, neighborhood events, like picnics and things like that. I've been working for the last year on gathering some kids together. So far I've got the cornhole thing. I've got this thing that's a basket thing for throwing a ball, and a cooler, and multiple other like games, and benches and tables and a big tent thing that can be set up that the neighborhoods can rent. They just have to check it out from me, from the county, so you don't have to have your own stuff. And I will rent parks for you. If you have a park that has a covered area that you would normally have to pay a fee for, I'll turn that in for you through the neighborhood program, and you won't have to pay a charge for renting that because it's through the neighborhood program.
You got something you're waiting to get in there.
Oh, okay, I'll scoot over here. Thank you. I thought I heard something. There we go. I don't know, am I missing something else that we do? Oh, yes, I am missing something else that we do, so I brought this up here. I also work with Cressa with emergency preparedness presentations. If y'all would like to have somebody come and do a emergency preparedness presentation to the group, she usually brings these bags and a bunch of really cool stuff in here, like emergency blankets, all of the instructions on how to sign up for the emergency alerts, how to prepare in a year for disaster with the schedule, so you don't have to buy all the stuff at the same time. And Jody is a fantastic presenter. She did a presentation for ILA, I think 6 months ago. About that, and unfortunately we didn't have very many people turn out for it because it was across town. So I think that if we had this many people turn out, it'd be really awesome. Jody would be excited to have more people turn out. And we also partner with the sheriff's office, and you guys will have a deputy liaison that is assigned to your neighborhood. This area is big enough. Isla, have you had 2 in the past? I think you've had 2 in the past.
Yeah, we've had 2, but not the last 4 or 5 months. We only had Dennis.
Okay, well, I'll double check whether you have 1 or 2, but that will be on your webpage. There is a webpage on the Clark County webpage that is dedicated to West Hazel Dell neighborhood. And it will have your bylaws, your neighborhood president, a link to your webpage that they've set up for you. It has your deputy liaison's email that you can click on. It has a direct link to do a report a crime. And it has your counselor for you to email your counselor directly. So all of that is right on your neighborhood webpage. And if you ever have any questions on who to contact, if you're having problems with our phone tree because many years ago, we went away with having regular operators like everybody else did and get the number.
Feels so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 2.9 for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson today.
Express detailing available in Washington. Please visit washington.com.
Hello, could somebody mute there?
A local couple's business highlights a Northwest staple, tribal fishing, and they've had this business for a decade. Coming up in tomorrow's Northwest Road, we return to the PC Farmers Market to learn more about native candy.
Here we go.
Thank you.
And so, lost what you thought. Oh, so if you get a hold of that phone tree and it's telling you press 1 for this, press 7 for this, and you just are ready to just hang up, you can call me. My number is on the information that's there on the back page. There's a neighborhood trifold that's back there that says what the neighborhood program does and doesn't do. And my contact information is on the back page of that. And you can call me directly and I'll get you hooked up with code enforcement or planning or whoever it is that you have a question for that you can't get a hold of. I'll just transfer you to them directly or give you the number direct to call so that you don't have to deal with the phone tree. And I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn. We're very appreciative of what Clark County provides and what Marilee provides. In the time that I've known her, she has been just a really huge help. Lots of resources, in constant communication with me. If you go attend other neighborhood association meetings, you'll see Marilee there and wonder how she possibly finds time to be doing that.
What's that? It's time for the best deals across the full line. F-Series, the best-selling.
We are not nearly as interesting as the advertisements. I assume it's NCIS that's playing today. We're really lucky to live in this community, and for those of you who don't know it, West Hazel Dell is really special because we have had somebody that has worked very hard for this neighborhood, for this community for a very long time. Somebody that has been a stalwart and staunch advocate for not just people in our area, but for all of the residents in Clark County. Someone who is responsible for helping with things like the Hazel Dell Parade Band, if you're all familiar with that, who's participated in organizations, who's started organizations. She was the president of our neighborhood association for how many years?
Ever.
For a long time. She might not want me to say, but it's been a really, really long time. I almost swallowed it. Yeah. And that's how it feels. It makes me woozy to think about the amount of time that she has spent. I just want to give a really, really, really big thanks from all of us to Isla Westergaard. Can you stand up while we clap for you? Going to be the grand marshal of the parade of bands this year, which is pretty darn awesome.
That is awesome. And it's May 17th
May 17th.
and it impacts your neighborhood.
Yes, we are going to have a map of the route. Yeah,
You need to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
And we can find a route out. The
definitely.
sheriff's department works with us on that. And if it has to be out between 8:30 in the morning and 2 o'clock, we can figure out a way.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna let you know where the horses are because they make a really big mess. And you don't want to be around.
We will do a newsletter instead of a postcard again this year,
Okay.
so that the map gets sent out to everyone.
Perfect. So everybody can get the map. All right. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, it's going to be pretty brief here. It's just meeting etiquette and expectations. You know, what can you expect from us? You can expect that we're going to be nice to you. We're going to treat you with kindness. We're going to treat you with respect. We're going to give you an opportunity to speak, time allowing. And if you don't have an opportunity to speak because time didn't allow for that, then you can come let me know, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to get a chance to speak next time. If you want to guarantee, or as close to guarantee as you possibly can, that you have an opportunity to spend a few minutes speaking at a meeting, you can go to our website, westhazeldell.org. And if you go to the meeting info page, there's a place right there you can click and you can say, hey, I want to make a comment, I want to ask a question at the meeting, and then we can make sure that you get put on the agenda that way. So that's what you can expect from us, one of many things you can expect from us. Hopefully what we can expect from you is that you seek to understand each other, that you're polite, that you're kind, and that you're respectful. You give people a chance to speak. That we all, if there's a problem, we assume ignorance instead of malice, and we try to negotiate in good faith, right? Because we're neighbors. I mean, we all want to live in this community, ostensibly, and if you don't, come talk to me. We'll figure out how to get you out of here. And I'll still treat you with respect. We're probably next meeting. This one's a little less formal, but we're going to be using Robert's Rules of Order. If anybody's familiar with that, it's a system for parliamentary organizations like this to function, to call motions and second them and vote and do all kinds of great stuff. So you can get more information on Robert's Rules, specifically kind of a condensed quick start version of them, on our website, westhazeldell.org, on the meeting info page. Also, the county has great guidelines for county meetings, and those will be posted on our webpage as well. Okay, so next up, we're just going to get into so much fun stuff coming up soon. But next is probably the most interesting part of the entire evening, and that is the treasurer's report from Amy Hayes.
Yay! It's so much fun. Guys, back.
Bookkeeping, yay!
Yeah, this won't take very long. So as of November 8th, 2024, there was $200 in the treasury at Riverview Bank. On November 10th, an expenditure of $80 was approved to acquire the registration of our new top-level domain. I don't know if all of you have gotten a chance to go to westhazeldell.org, but we have a new website and it's nice and shiny. But that does, cost money. So that was $80 approved, and then December 9th, that was reimbursed to Secretary Amy Haight for the domain registration and website hosting. And then on December 9th, a check was written for $110 to Secretary Amy Haight from Riverview Bank. Riverview Bank. I can't speak. To be held because we will be opening up a new bank account now that we have we've got 3 executive board members. So right now we currently have I can do math here, $120 in the treasury to be deposited into a new account probably within the next 2 weeks. We'll get together and go ahead and open up a new account. And that's all I have for the treasury report. I know that was fascinating.
All right, thank you. Not a whole lot of.
I don't like that.
No, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
No, gambling. My son's like, but
Eager to become the treasurer of Michigan, lousy at that. The biggest expenditure for us right now, or I'd say the priority expenditure for us right now, that of course won't be due for almost another year, is the website. And obviously it would be nice to keep the website up so it's a reliable place that we can all go and we can collect information and we can find information. And that costs money, like Amy said. Even more important than the hosting for the website itself is to retain that domain. That way we never lose westhazeldell.org. We don't lose the email addresses that we have when Amy and Tessa and I go off to other places and new board members come on. You can still get a hold of them at that exact same email address and have that continuity. So even if things are looking a little lean when it's time to re-up on the hosting, as long as we can all get $20 together, we can hang on to that domain for another year and not lose it. What happens is domain squatters come in as soon as you don't pay for that domain, and they buy it up, and then they try to resell it for thousands of dollars. If you're lucky, some of them just set up weird websites on there. and you don't want to go to some of those websites, I don't tell you. Thank you, Amy, for the treasurer's report. Okay, so one of the things that I'm most excited about with the neighborhood association is, I've said it, is getting the kids involved, right? To that end, one of the committees that we're starting up is the Youth Leadership Committee. Now, my vision for the Youth Leadership Committee, and I've talked to a few folks that say that they think this is a decent idea as well, is that we have two co-chairs for that committee. One, a student or young adult recently out of school, and one, an older adult who has experience in education or experience in youth leadership. And they're going to work together to find opportunities for the kids to get involved in the community, age-appropriate opportunities for the kids to practice their leadership skills, to help each other, to learn about advocating for themselves in the community, learn about helping other people in the community. And I'm really excited to introduce our inaugural co-chair of the Youth Leadership Committee, Alan O'Donnell. Alan, come up and tell us about it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alan O'Donnell. I'm 17 years old. I'll turn 18 next month in March. I was born in Gresham, Oregon, but I promise you that wasn't my fault. I've been raised here in West Hazel Dell my whole life, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys and see what it's all about. Trying to make a difference in our community.
We're excited.
The thing I really like about Alan is that he was the first person to reach out to me. I mean, within hours of the website coming up, he probably did some of that fancy programming with the spider bots crawling or something. I don't know how Alan found me, but he found me and he said, "How can I get involved? I want to get to know my community." He said, "My garage is full of stuff I would like to donate." So, you're too young to have that problem, but I understand. Stop stealing my agenda. It's her agenda is the problem. Okay. So next is an update that I need to give you on the Neighborhood Association Council of Clark County and Commandeering Capybaras. We call it the NAC. We call it the NAC. NACCC. I think there's 3 C's. It's a lot of C's. The Neighborhood Association Council of Clark County brings together leaders of the neighborhood associations of Clark County. We can talk to each other on about things of common interest. We can work together. We can share information. We can plan stuff. We can amplify our voice and our representation in Clark County and kind of take these these communities, these neighborhoods, and combine them into a Voltron of community-ness. And so I've had the pleasure of attending 2 NAC meetings and a potluck since I took over as president of the neighborhood association. The potluck was great. There were brownies, there was some mac and cheese, and there was some salad. Hope you all can be there the next time. The meetings were also relatively interesting. At the first NAC meeting of this year, they proposed some amendments to their bylaws that would increase the size of their board. So folks from neighborhood associations can go to NAC and can serve on the board there. They added a couple of positions to the board. They reduced the attendance requirements to qualify to sit on the board, and they are now allowing more than 1 person from a neighborhood association to serve on one of the possible 6 seats.
But no more than 2.
But no more than 2. Thank you. No more than 2 people from a neighborhood association can sit on the board of NAC. The goal of those, as stated by the current NAC board, is to increase the diversity of voices, to bring in neighborhood associations who historically haven't participated in NAC, to open it up to folks who are new to participating in NAC, like myself, like my friend back there. I'm not going to embarrass her. Some of the neighborhood associations haven't been going to these meetings, and so NAC says that they would like to reach out and find folks and bring in more neighborhood associations. If you want to know more about NAC, our former president, Ilo Westergaard, served as vice chair on NAC for quite a while and probably has some very generous and wonderful things to tell you about the great things that NAC does. Isla and I disagree a little bit on some of the mechanics of how NAC should get to where they're going, but I think we agree on the ultimate goal. And so when I go there, I go as your representative. When I vote on bylaw amendments, when I vote for elections and people to sit on that board, my goal is to increase your voice because I'm your representative. So I'm always going to vote for something that I think gives you more of a voice or gives you a greater role or a more equitable role in Clark County. And I'm always going to vote against things that I think restrict your opportunity and your voice. If you want to know more about how my philosophies regarding NAC, you can email me. I can talk for hours about it. And if you want to tell me how you think I should vote on NAC, then you can also email me. If you would like to attend NAC, you are welcome to. Only one person from a neighborhood association can vote at a general membership meeting there, but anybody can go. That's about it. That's about the update from NAC, okay? Moving on, we're going to talk about, we're getting really close to letting all of you talk about stuff. What are you pointing at? That's what we're doing. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You guys, high five.
High five. Good team.
We're doing it. The neighborhood action plan, because everybody loves a good nap.
That's right.
Did I say that enough?
Not yet.
The neighborhood action plan, you may have heard from me, is how we figure out how to be a resource for all of you. So, obviously, like you all just at the same time want to shout what you want. No, that won't work. The best way is to go to our website. You can fill out a form on there to tell me your ideas, your thoughts, the things that are most important, the questions that you have. You can come to these meetings and you can tell us how to be a resource for you. What I've been doing is I've been going around and I've talking to folks in the community, folks that are coming in via the website, and I'm also going to what I kind of think of as like aggregator stakeholders, right? Administrators at schools, community leaders like folks here at Messiah Lutheran, PTAs, anyone who has access to a group of people in this community and can help me to better understand what's most important for them. So what your board is doing now is developing this neighborhood action plan. And by our next meeting, which will be in April, we're going to have the first draft of that document for you to look at. You're going to see what our goals are and what our specific plans to achieve those goals are going to be. Now, this is a living document. This is something that's going to be updated all the time. We don't just decide this is what we're going to do and we're going to do it forever. We're going to be responsive to feedback. In the process of speaking to people, I had so many great ideas. I'm just going to make sure I'm not talking too long. I'm good. So many great ideas from folks, and I've been hearing a lot of the same things from people that want to that want to have fun. They want to have block parties and activities in the park. They want to do things to engage the kids. STEM in the park, science in the park. Let's keep the popsicles in the park going. Yeah. Hey, while we're at it, let's clean up the parks, right? We have neighbors who live behind the parks, and they maybe would like to have some conversations with their neighbors and with the county about ways that we can make things more enjoyable for everybody. Most people have mentioned traffic and safety concerns, right? Just using our sidewalks, riding our bikes on the shoulders, driving our cars. So Marilee mentioned speed bumps. Everybody loves speed bumps. And so based on all of that information that I've received so far, we've begun to identify some potential committees that we want to start. And these committees can be permanent, and they could last just as long as they need to last to get a job done. So we have a list of a few committees that we want to mention. We're looking for people to join, volunteer to be a committee chair. And then you get to boss a bunch of people around, or just volunteer to be on a committee.
Working together.
If you like being bossed around. She told me not to use the word boss.
So I'm going to go over. We're both going to go over a few of the committees that we are developing. If any of you are interested, whether you want to participate, or you just have more questions, or you're just like, hey, what is that about? Just email us. We're not going to ask for participants or volunteers at this meeting, but please let us know. We would love to hear from you. So one of the committees is the Youth Leadership Committee that Brendan and Ellen already spoke about. So we are still looking for the other co-chair for that. I know Brenda and I feel really strongly about showing example to our kids about how, you know, we can make a difference, and children, you know, have a voice too. It's not like you just cease to exist until you're 18 and then all of a sudden you're a person. Like, children are people too. We want to encourage their growth, learning how to work with each other, and, you know, just also sharing their interests. I know my son especially loves science and sorts of fun things, and, you know, we want the kids to be able to engage with each other and know, you know, just what it's like to work with a community. So that's really important to us. So we look forward to that. Another committee that I'm going to be the co-chair of, or one of the chairs, whatever, is a DEIA committee. At my place of employment, I was on a DEI committee there for a couple of years, and it was amazing. It was just really life-changing, and it made me grow a lot as a person. I got to learn a lot of things about people and the world, and I would really like to do that here at WHDNA. I won't spend a really long time talking about it. The DEIA is an acronym. D is for diversity, E is for equity, I is for inclusion, and A is for accessibility. So some of the things that are really important to me is for all of our neighbors to be able to participate in WHDNA, be able to come to meetings or come to Zoom, just to be able to participate, whether it's at the meeting or, you know, just communication, be able to go to our events and meet each other. I feel really strongly that everybody should be able to have access to these things. And, you know, not everybody has the same access. So our neighbors are not only those who, you know, own a home or have a business in our district, but they're everybody who rents their homes or rent to own or lease. There's people in temporary housing, people who are unhoused or disenfranchised in other ways. And they're all a part of our community. They're all our neighbors. And I would really like to work on just making this type of a thing that we're doing here right now accessible for everybody, and to hear their voice and to give them a voice. And yeah, just to make the world a better place. But yeah, so Zoom is important. We're definitely going to continue to keep having Zoom. So for accessibility, yeah. So you know, if any one of you can come to a meeting but you want to hop on Zoom, like, please do. You've got the link. If you have any questions about that, just ask us. I know it's probably a really long-term goal, but, you know, we would love to have, you know, have access to translations or a translator, whether it's in a written communication or even at a meeting. I mean, that would be really awesome. I know it's a lot of people, but it would be really, really great.
We would very much like to hear about anybody that can translate Spanish and Ukrainian. Those are two languages that are spoken by a lot of folks here, but there are also many, many more. Vietnamese and Thai, and I'm not going to start listing because then I'm going to forget someone. Yeah, if you speak a second language and you're interested in being able to help us translate our materials or our meeting transcripts, please come talk to us. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. And just one more thing about that. As far as the DEIA committee here, one of the first things I would like to do is, you know, we need to understand who we are and what makes our community. So we, you know, we want to increase representation from all groups of people. That is something that requires us to know who is in our community, who we have. So looking, and merely maybe you could help with this. I don't know what sort of like data available to identify trends and, socioeconomic status, languages spoken, just ethnicity. But it's important to have a picture of like who we are so that we can best represent everybody, and we want everybody to have a voice. So that's really important to us. I'm happy to talk about it at any point in time. Just let me know. But that is the DEIA committee, WHDNA. I will let you talk.
I will check on that for you, get the stats for that, and then on your mailers, since they're going out from the county, I should be able to do some translations if you want
That's
to do
amazing.
your welcome newsletters. We wouldn't have enough room on there to
Right.
translate everything, but your welcome message could be translated.
That's amazing.
Well,
Okay.
we've already.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. We've already decided that in the future, postcards going out are going to devote more space to translations and accessibility than to whatever, all that important information I wrote on there last time. We'll encourage people to go to the website and to sign up back there for the digital newsletter. That's where once a month, and then occasionally an update or an announcement from me will come to you and give you all that information. That way, we can devote that real estate on our postcards to making sure that everybody in our community is getting the message. And you were done with that, right?
Yeah, do you want to
Sure,
talk?
absolutely.
I know you love to talk.
I mean,
Lots to talk.
Amy is fantastic. I don't know anything. So my goal is to surround myself with people who do, people who know what they're talking about, people who are passionate, people who have the skills and the resources and the experience. And then that just makes me look better. And it helps us get stuff done. So next up for committees, traffic and safety committee. So traffic and safety, this is a major concern for everyone. In fact, this is one of the things that brings a lot of people to neighborhood associations. You might be here right now because of that. One of the things that I would really like to see with the Traffic and Safety Committee is get a small group of people that can collect that information so that we're not necessarily spending all the time at the meetings talking about it, but we can all kind of hand that in, and then that information can be delivered in an aggregated fashion to our sheriff's liaisons and to our county representatives and county agencies. I tend to think that when there's a lot of us talking together, we maybe get hurt a little more than when we all just kind of do it on our own and scattershot like that, right? And we know that we can have our county councilors come to these meetings. We know that we can have county agencies and representatives come to these meetings and hear from us. And so when you are able to bring those complaints and those ideas and those concerns, and we can put them all together, then we can say, look, here, we've got 30 people who need another speed bump. We're just going to keep talking about speed bumps. So our traffic and safety committee, we need folks that want to do that. We need people that are concerned about that and love making lists. The next and last committee there's one more. There's two more, sorry. The Active Transport Committee. What is active transport? I stole that from the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Council of Clark County. They define active transport as walking, biking, and riding public transportation. Now, as someone who walks my son to school, as someone who likes to ride a bike, as someone who has friends that ride bikes with their kids down the street to school all the time, I care about us being able to do that and get around safely. So we want to have an active transport committee, and we do want to deliberately separate that from traffic and safety. There's a lot of crossover there for sure, but we want to look at traffic and safety from the perspective of being, on the ground, on our feet, on two wheels. Most of us, I would say, at some time or another, take a walk. And then there's also plenty of people who don't have a car, use a bike to get around, rely on public transportation to get around. And their experience is really important. Something I'm working on right now is what I call a hyper-local active transport report. That needs a better name. But I will be soliciting all of you to come talk to me about what your experience riding and biking and taking the bus is like. What routes do you take to work? What routes do you take when you like to go on your morning constitutional, or when you take your dog for a walk, or you walk your kid to school? And what is it like? Are the shoulders clear of trash? Are the sidewalks clear of obstructions from trees hanging over? Do you feel safe? Are there big potholes and puddles and Norway pine needles that are slick as black ice? And I'm going to put that information together to get a look at what what it's like in West Hazel Dell to walk around and ride your bike around. And then I'm really hoping, and now I'm looking at you for you. What I'm really hoping is that I can encourage other neighborhood associations through that mechanism of NAC to do something similar. And then maybe we can, again, put together a report, a snapshot of what it's like to travel around Clark County, but from the people that live here, the people that are doing it, not just the experts who, they went to school and got their degrees. Now they're going out, they're telling us where the bike lane should go. Let's tell them where the bike lane should go. The last committee that I'm going to talk about is the best committee of all the committees on the committee list, and that is the events committee. That is the committee that's going to throw block parties and the barbecues and the community garage sales. Yeah, okay. Lisa, is Lisa here? No, maybe she's on Zoom.
Lisa? Are you Lisa?
No, garage sale with Lisa? Do you want to be garage sale? Sorry, there's probably like a lot of Lisa's here. I agree with Lisa. Yeah, events committee, the fun stuff, the parties and what else did I say? Yeah, the park cleanups, right? The
meet and greets. I mean, getting to know your neighbor.
Yeah.
We want to hear your ideas. So if you have ideas for events or anything that you think would be fun or good for community building or community improvement, just let us know. I mean, we've already gotten a lot of really good ideas in the short amount of time that we've been here, and we haven't even had our meeting yet until tonight. And so I'm just really excited to hear what you guys, what you have, what your ideas are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna segue. That was a wonderful segue, Amy. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's such a joy to have you here. I hope we meet again. Someday, not like really soon, but someday. That's a great segue that I ruined into the time where you all get to talk. Now, some folks, they found their way to the website and they emailed me and they said, I have something really cool that I want to talk about. And so they get to go first. And actually, I am going to ask Deborah. Where'd you go, Deborah? There she is. Do you want to talk a little bit, Deborah?
Should I talk here or there?
I would love it if you came up here so everybody can see your wonderful face.
I'm Deborah. I almost said it like an alcoholic. Hi, but I'm not in the program, so
It's okay when you are. You're just not supposed to talk.
That's because God does meetings. So, well, first of all, I wanted to thank the people who put this together. I think that my husband and I have done this kind of work before, and sometimes I don't realize how much work it takes to do those kinds of endeavors. So thank you to all of you who have done them. This kind of ties into being a neighborhood association. I think. And there have been several things that have been said that are going to make this really, I think, very pertinent. We moved from the northern part of the state about 3 years ago, and specifically chose the Vancouver area because we it's close to family. I've been close to family a long time, and just loved the neighborhood and the feel of it. Sometimes when you move to a new place, there are things that you discover that you didn't initially see. So. The thing that caught me by surprise was a negative thing. I have to say that because that's when you talk about lots of positives, but it was the trash and the litter from the freeways and the on and off ramps. I was just stunned that we would get into these lovely little communities and neighborhoods that would be lots of pride of ownership and, and that did not exist when we go drive into our neighborhoods. And so, I'm a very active, proactive person, so I reached out to the people I thought that could perhaps help with this. My husband called the mayor's office, and that didn't go as well as we had hoped. For the obvious reason was that the first question was, where do you live? And since we're not in city limits, the answer was, well, we're very sorry, but that's not our problem. Of course, my husband had some very good words positive words to respond to. But in the end, it really is their issue because Interstate 5 does go through Vancouver. So it is still their issue. They're just not addressing it. So that didn't work. So I went to DOT. And I did write this down because it's important for me to sort of figure out what does Department of Transportation do and how can they help us in our community to make it a better community. So they're in charge of maintaining the roads. They're in charge of the on and off ramps. That was a big thing because I thought perhaps that was something related to a city or a locale, but that's DOT. They're in charge of all the litter control and pickup. So the gentleman who ran DOT at the time, his name is Jason, a great guy. We had hit it off. I said, what can I do to help? I said, do you not have the money and the resources you need to keep our freeways and our on and off ramps clean? And he said, well, at this point, I do have the resources. The problem is we're having issues because of COVID. They lost a lot of long-term employees. And so getting people who want to do this job, he said, is tough. So he said, that's the main issue we're having. The other thing, he described the area that DOT covers for us here. They go from Goldendale to the coast. They go from Chehalis to Vancouver. So this is that enormous area they have to cover. My response to him was, as we drive that I-5 corridor quite a bit, the dirtiest part of the I-5 corridor from Blaine to Vancouver is Clark County. Next to that is Calgary. So we are the dirtiest part of that. So my question to him is why and what can we do to improve that? So I'm only one person. So I said, look, if I call you and tell you I've noticed a particularly bad area, will you come and clean it? And he said, yes, I will. So that's what I've been doing, is I will literally call him. He's gone now, but I'm talking now to the new guy. So I call him up. I say, Jason 78 or whatever it is, this section you're not off ramp is really bad. Within a week, he would send a crew and they would pick it up. I would always call and thank him for doing that because I think positive reinforcement helps. And then the other thing I asked him was, will you provide for me the trash bags? You really have the EO, what's the name on it? The ecology trash bags. And I said, if I pick up, now he won't let any of us just go to the freeway or the on and off ramps, but he would let me do it on our side streets that needed, and then he would send a crew up to pick them up. So what I would like to see happen, and maybe this is not something the association is really interested in, but I think it's tied in to the idea of an association groups where they all get together.
Absolutely.
If we were to, as a group ourselves, reach out to the other associations and say, look, we can do something about this. This can be addressed. And if we can all, as an association, get together and do that, we can put some pressure on DOT, because this is DOT, to begin to address what's happening in Clark County. And because I think it impacts, I don't know about you guys, but it bums me out. I mean, driving to get on the freeway or getting on the freeway, my husband even tells me, please put your blinders on, please don't say anything. I just can't help it. It's just like, oh my God, we live in such a beautiful place and it's trashy, So this is what I think we can do. Because I want to make sure I come up with something positive. I think we should all start calling the mayor's office. I did put up a sheet, which I will send to Brandon, with all the appropriate names, and even the new guy, the DOT's new guy, Supervisor Buddy. You need to tell the mayor's office you're not going to get hurt. You're going to get an assistant, but you need to say to them right off the way. I used to teach salespeople to take away the objection. They're going to say, "Where do you live?" You're going to tell them. They're going to say, "I'm sorry, not our deal." So you're going to say, so what I say is, look, I know I'm not in the city limits, but I do patronize the businesses in the city and you benefit from that. And I don't want to come down there anymore because it's dirty, because you're not cleaning up your on and off ramp. So if you can tie it to money, I think it helps. The other thing is, DOT. They're very receptive to hearing what we have to say. The thing that stunned me was, I said, I'm sure you must get lots and lots of calls about the litter and trash. And he said, no, we don't at all. And I said, really? And he goes, and I said, well, maybe it's just that we're just all busy. And I said, I'm retired. I can do this, you know? So I think if we all had like that number for DOT and you got to know buddy and say, hey, buddy, you know, this is looking really bad. I think they're going to respond. And again, we're working with the other organizations. I think that will happen, help. The other thing is, I got the flyer I will send. My husband, as we were walking up the door, said something that we can't do, but I know there are perhaps people in this room that could. We're not social media people. It's just not, we don't do that. We just don't do it. But I know that that's a very effective way of reaching a lot of people because people do look at that. So if there's younger people or people who are just into that, I think that would be a very positive way for us to do this. And then the other thing is on my straight up printout, I have a list of all the elected officials. I know you have that too, but those folks are very open for hearing it. I've started reaching out to them. So anyway, I hope this ties in with making it a better neighborhood.
Absolutely.
I think it does.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Yeah, right.
I just want to add that the county does have an adopt the road program, and they have a volunteer coordinator. If you want, I can get you in touch with her, and you can adopt sections of the road. If you have teams that want to adopt sections of the road, they will provide you with all of the equipment, the bags, everything, and do the pickup of the trash. They'll also coordinate the timing of cleaning it up to where I believe that they put cones out so that you're protected and you're safe. They make sure that it's areas where you're safe. They aren't going to do the DOT areas, but like some of these areas like 99th Street or some of these areas that are over here in 78th Street that have trash, you would be able to do those areas. So get in touch with Brendan, he'll get in touch with me, and I can get you connected to Cindy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, what did I say right there? Marilyn Paul, right? Wonderful
Yes.
connection to
Yes, that'd be great.
yeah. Deborah, I think that's fantastic.
Can I just,
Yeah.
on that point, we aren't in the city of Vancouver. We do have Clark County commissioners that are our elected representatives. So yes, you can try to put a guilt trip on the mayor's office, but you could also just call your county commissioners who are your local representatives. Other stuff is great, but hit the people that are actually our representatives. Get the mayor if you've got free time, but definitely hit your actual commissioners first, because they're the ones, you know, that owe us and are responsible for us primarily.
Yeah, appreciate that. Let's say that.
If I can make a comment, it strikes me to be amazing that you would have to reach out to commissioners or mayors or anyone else. They all drive these freeways, they all drive these streets. And if you drive from exit 4 to 139th, it's just strewn with litter all the way up and down the freeway. And it's like, it's not just the freeway, but and I do understand that, you know, it's a hard thing to keep up on. But when we vote for these people to take office, you're either an operator or you're not. And if you're an operator, then you should be able to handle your business. And I think that that's the way I see it. If I was the mayor of the city, I wouldn't say, oh, well, the person told me that you're exit 4, you're part of the county. I go, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's still part of Vancouver. It's like you can sit there and delineate it, but it doesn't stop. I mean, it's still bad. So I mean, it's like kicking the can down the road or telling me that I have to go get a committee to clean the streets, but it's like, you know, we pay taxes, we're imposed financially to pay for these things, and yet we have to enlighten them that there's litter on the streets. It's like, really? Okay. But we're not germaphobes.
Well, you know, I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you know, and we squeak louder when we all get together. I'm straining the metaphor, but I think that I think that all three of you really are illustrating the benefits in my mind of aggregating those complaints as well. Getting together, finding those opportunities to join with other neighborhood associations and all that. Oh, yes, our county councilor is Michelle Bell. Yes.
So yeah, our county counselor is Michelle.
And you'll be seeing at future meetings, you'll
Yes,
see
we are going to
county
have her
councilors here. We have not just our own county councilor, but we have other county councilors who regularly attend these meetings, as well as the neighborhood association council of concerned clerks and court. I can't remember what the next stands for.
Clark County.
Clark County,
Yeah.
Neighborhood Association Council of Clark County. Okay.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
The reason that there's trash everywhere is because there's homeless people everywhere. And the mayor and the county councilors and all of them, they don't care about the trash because they don't care about homeless people. And trash is just one little side effect of having homelessness. People can't afford to live and they're dying on the streets. I've been one of them for years and years of my life. And I'm just lucky to have a place to live now and to be in this neighborhood association meeting because I have a neighborhood. And I do fully understand wanting to be able to look at the scenery. I strongly prefer to be in places where you can't see any sign of human life, to be in the forest where there is no trash and there is no buildings and smokestacks and things. But so the trash is, I'm not a fan either. But the reason for that trash is it's a bigger problem. It's that people are living on the streets and that they weren't, the root of the cause of the issue was addressed, which they don't care about that either enough to actually take action, which is what they are paid to do. Then the trash is going to continue to be a problem. And I very much struggle to speak in front of this many people, and I'm trying not to cry right now. But I just feel the need to say it. That trash and being an eyesore is very, very little of a problem compared to people who it just snowed, it was snowy and people died and they were sleeping in the freezing cold snow on the mud and had nowhere to go to the bathroom. They don't have trash service. And that's why there's trash everywhere, because and cleaning it up and taking away all their belongings, which is what happens when we ask them to clean the trash. If there's a tent there, they just come and take everything and the person has to start from scratch. Yeah, that's the least of our worries of as a society, as a community, which is what we're doing here, because we all care about our community. And I do fully support wanting to see a beautiful environment. But the root cause is not just people littering, it's that we need to fix problems.
Absolutely. I really appreciate your comments. Yeah, I mean, the unhoused is a huge challenge around here. I mean, like I said earlier, I grew up here, and so yeah, I definitely noticed, you know, the population of people without housing or having housing scarcity just continues to grow. And for me, like, it's important that those people have a voice, because I know that they often don't. And so that's one of the reasons it's really important for me to include them in our community. And yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I can't, like, I'm not ever going to be like the president or the governor, but, you know, I can affect change in my neighborhood and my community. And yes, you know, trash is a problem. And like you said, it's, you know, one of the reasons is because we don't have places to put it. People don't.
Trash is a problem, and the homelessness is a problem. I think the trash portion is a subsidiary of the homeless people. So that's a problem as well. So they're both problems that neither one of them are being addressed. So I don't know why the neighborhood association would address homelessness, but
right.
But in terms
Well,
of
I'm just talking about if you're calling your representatives. Tell them, I want you to address the housing crisis
Oh, absolutely.
And I want you to address the
Absolutely.
trash.
I mean, that's the thing,
Both things.
there's so
while
many
you're on the phone with
components.
them already.
Absolutely.
so many components that go into all of these challenges that we have and that, yeah. So can I ask your name if that's okay?
Ashley.
Ashley, thank you so much, Ashley, for letting us listen to you because I agree. Yeah.
Can I just want to say something more about, you know, what's going on with housing? I know it's a very, very complicated issue.
Everybody, I cried just sitting here and you gotta, thank you for.
But I would commend to you the Washington Low Income Housing Alliance. If you go to their website, Washington Low Income Housing Alliance, you can get on their mailing list, and they're probably the best organization that will help you address the housing issue. It's taken a long time to get here. It'll take a long time to fix the problem. But again, the more people that are involved, and there's some things going on in the state right now. Counties have been very responsive. The city has been a lot better, but there's a lot of work to be done.
And also locally, the Council for the Homeless.
Yeah.
Does a lot of work.
Yes.
Locally as well. So statewide, what was it called?
The Washington, Low Income Housing Alliance.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of opportunities for discussion and for work and yeah, neighborhood associations are limited in what they can address. And sometimes all we can address are the symptoms of problems. But I also think that we make a really big impact when we act with compassion. And you know, like Amy said, when we understand who's in our community, and that's gonna help us. So you know, a committee isn't gonna solve every problem, but a lot of you are really passionate and educated and interested and good advocates for yourselves and for others. And so, you know, we encourage you, please come talk to us, come talk to Amy. She's nicer than I am. But yeah, so we've got a little bit of time left. I just wanted to double check though, Lisa, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. If you're here or if you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand. Lisa wanted to talk about a community garage sale. Community garage sales are really cool. So we're gonna have the events committee maybe be working on that. Or maybe Lisa will come by and talk to us a little more about that. So a little more time for some folks to speak. You know, we're limited here. So I would ask that you know, that you maybe try to keep it to three minutes. It's probably a good run here, and we can get through a few more people. Is there somebody that would like to ask a question or make a comment? Yeah, please come on up.
I'll just sit right. I just have a quick question.
Okay.
I messaged you about the water tower.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I was wondering if anybody had any additional information about
So,
it.
yeah,
Size.
I know. So I mean, the comment period for that just, you know, came and went. I mean, I missed it, and I know, you know, you were looking at it afterwards. And there really isn't a whole lot that we can do about it at this point. What we can do and what we can make sure to do is to stay on top of those sorts of developments in the future. Now that I have a relationship with Marilee McCall, who can give us access to all those things that are happening, we can make sure we put them up on the website and we're sending that information out in newsletters. So we're kind of limited. You and I, what we can do right now, but we can talk more about, you know, I mean, even if it's just constructing some kind of feedback. You know, we know that, you know, maybe it's, you know, we're not gonna get them to tear it down.
Yeah.
But maybe if we wanna make sure that, you know, your voice is heard and that our opinions are taken into account, you know, it's kind of.
I emailed them a couple weeks ago and they said that it was still in the application process. So
Yeah,
I didn't know about the.
Yeah.
Would you like to
explain?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So there's a water tower. Yeah, so they are still in that application period, so maybe we can open up. Yeah, please.
Okay, so diagonally from Lakeshore Elementary, there is a lot, I think it's like 0.6. I don't know. But they're going to build a 170-foot tall water tower by like 123 feet wide. The design is not super attractive. The trees are about 100 feet tall there. They're not going to, and they may have closed down, I don't know, but, it is bigger than any other tower I can find online around, like, it's really large. And for reference, like the cylinder shaped apartments in downtown Vancouver, the Smith Tower, that's only 158 feet tall by like 100 feet wide. So compare that to 170 feet tall by 120 feet wide. So it's really large.
And this is connected to the work that they're doing on 99th. It's connected to that, the sewer and the aquifer work that they're all doing under there, which also makes it like a monolith, you know.
It's really big.
It's,
And it's right next door to houses.
And it's right next to the
next door
house.
to houses. And I can't imagine what that would do to your property values and your, right?
So I think that there's still opportunities to learn more. And like I said, you know, what I was told was you missed the public comment period on that, you know, and I think we all have experiences too with that those windows can be really tight and it can be hard to get that kind of information.
Yeah.
So like I said, you know, Mary Lee is really great at that. Isla knows everybody everywhere.
Doesn't know everything.
Well,
Clarify, is that the piece of property that Clark Public Utilities owns across the school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
It's a residential
neighbors
lot.
at and around Fazio Park have been asking and asking and asking. So even if and when, and it happens all the time, we miss that deadline for comment, there's this lovely thing called the newspaper.
Yeah.
You can write letters to the editor and they'll let you send in one every 2 weeks. And you could get a group of people doing it and just focus and make people understand what's going on because they won't until they break ground. Then they'll resell and it'll be too late.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And get hold of Clark PUD. They also have elected commissioners. And they understand who the voters are. So I think those would be good things.
Yeah.
Does anyone know why they're installing it there? There are no water pressure. Water towers are put there because of water pressure problems. I grew up in places really flat.
yeah.
Water towers were a common thing. The only way you can get the water from the source to your house.
Yeah.
You have to have pressure or you have to have.
It's there. It's there to serve the developments and all the.
So
my
that's
understanding
the
of
place though is completely developed out, so there must be a problem.
That's what I was looking at.
They're trying to solve.
Yeah, we live 2 blocks from there and there's no water pressure problems. I've never heard of anyone about water pressure problems. And like you said, it's all built out, so we don't even know why it's built high to make it go far.
Well, that's also something that we can put on our agenda is looking and we can, talk to Mary Lee about that outside this meeting about finding the right sort of people to come here and talk to us about why they're making those kinds of decisions too. I mean, just for our education and to learn more in the future. That's a great question. Yeah.
Okay, I live on 21st, right across from Fazio Park. Been there about 35 years, so I'm just about a local.
Yeah.
We've watched the traffic just boom up and down 21st, which is really alarming to us with all the kids going to school, playing at the park, and so forth. At first, when that lot came up for sale, they were really pushing to get townhomes in there, which would add to the traffic on 21st. We're very happy that they're putting in a water tower. We're not happy with the design, but just on record, we're happy with lesser traffic than what we would have had otherwise.
It would be really nice to have a spokesman from the PUD come and tell us. Why that design, why that location? Will the area underneath be open to the public in a park like fashion? There can be some real advantages to that as an open space.
Yeah.
So
Look at Sorensen Park, just north of there, that beautiful sledding area. There's a big water tower right on top of that hill. All kinds of people play underneath that water tower.
That one is tiny in comparison to what the new one will be though. It is much, much smaller. I think this is the part you know, it's a size issue. It's across from a school. I mean, we have a 37% chance of a mega burst earthquake. It's 50 years. So in the lifetime of this water tower, it's guaranteed that we're pretty much. So, you know, there's a school across the street. It's in millions of gallons of water.
Okay, I've got it on the screen. And the status is saying that the public notice is not issued yet. And the decision is not issued yet.
Okay. Stretchy.
And this is a picture of the plan.
Is there a name of this project? Or I think they're calling it Lakeshore 94th Street.
And so this is 21st Avenue and this is 94th Street, just so that you have an idea of where this is at. And this is the actual drawing of what the plan looks like. Looks like it's PUD. And the plan number is called Clark Public Utilities 94th Street Reservoir. And I thought I saw, oh, it's PSR, Paul, Sam, Raven, 2025-000007.
Okay, I will get the link for Marilee to this
Yeah.
information, and I'll make sure it's on our website. And we will talk to Marilee, and we will talk to others. Like I said, Iowa knows a lot of people as well. So between these two fantastic resources, we can get people to show up.
It will be the largest taller than any structure in Vancouver. Just so you know, Vancouver is.
Maybe we can turn that into a.
So it's not in Vancouver. Yeah, I think they just, you know, our address is Vancouver, so I think they just need, that's what the.
Any burning questions left real quick? We've just got a couple of minutes. If I'm not seeing any hands.
Oh, I have a.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know if the work on 99th Street and 78th Street, if it includes an overlay of the roads after the work is complete?
Oh, you mean just smooth it out a little bit? Is that what we're?
Well, I mean, they're ripping up a good portion of the road, right? You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know if anybody knew if they're supposed to.
Yeah, Isla.
What is this?
I have no idea. There's not, we don't have any kind of.
I read today that it was.
Just learning.
Okay. Oh, April repaving. Okay. Well, we're gonna put that down here, and we will also find out that information. When give us a couple days when Amy has the minutes for the meeting together. We will add links to a lot of these things if we can, and otherwise, you know, make note that we're working on them to look into that information for you. Go to the website westhazeldell.org, and you can talk to us there. And let us know how you feel about everything. And please come to the next meeting. Yes, young man.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So what can we do to make all the people who are going so fast, like the drivers in our neighborhood?
What can we do to get them to slow down?
Yeah.
Well, young man, you can volunteer to join the Traffic and Safety and/or the Active Transport Committee, and or the Youth Leadership Committee, and they will be working on that. Sound good? Okay, we can talk more about that.
Yeah. You will put all these resources that have been spotted out right on the website.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe the location for the meeting in April?
We do not have a date and location for the meeting in April yet. If we are all really good guests and clean up after ourselves, maybe Messiah Lutheran will invite us back. And but I will let you know as soon as we know. We're going to try to get that sorted out in the next couple of weeks, okay? And then we can have that agenda for you. One last time, I want to say thank you to Messiah Lutheran for inviting us into their home. We appreciate it so much. Thank you to our friends from the Blighted Neighborhood Association who came to visit and see how we're doing here. Thank you again to our former president, Isla Westergaard, who is still here working hard on our behalf. And thank you to the greatest county resource we possibly have, Marilee McCall. Can I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion. I second.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you all for joining us online.
Thank you.